Boys and girls, ladies and gentlemen, children of all ages, House of the Dragon and fans out there unite, because apparently you're all being blamed with just a bunch of toxic people who hate gay people, apparently for the reasons why the very last episode got review bombed into absolute oblivion. And of course, it's all our fault, boys and girls, at the end of the day, because Mon-Friday has absolutely had a meltdown and is blaming toxic fans for absolutely everything out there, including the abysmal ratings for the last episode for House of the Dragon Season 2 out there, ladies and gentlemen. Now, obviously, it's one of them situations where I haven't watched House of the Dragon. I was a big fan of Game of Thrones. I watched it all the way to the end, but it was just House of the Dragon Season 1 I just couldn't get into. But at the end of the day, I know a lot of people have really enjoyed it. I've gotten a lot of recommendations from a few different people out there, and I know a lot of people in the Fellowship have really enjoyed the season as well. But one of them situations where that last episode fell off, and we know why. We know the why for a lot of people that did fall off, because it was a series that was cut too short because a lot of the writer strikes and stuff like that, and it ended up not getting to get its full series run, which was supposed to be a 10 episode, and only getting cut down to an 8 episode season, and we see that exactly why. And the reviews out there point that out over and over again. You go to anybody out there in the Fellowship who reviewed the series, and that's exactly what they will tell you. But no, boys and girls, it's not that the series got cut short. It's not that it had a bad ending that didn't feel like a finale in any way, shape, or form. No, it's just because you hate gay people, ladies and gentlemen. So we're going to check out this article from Variety.com, get into the juicy details of exactly what they said about House of the Dragon Season 2 out there. But before we do, if you do enjoy our content, hit that like button, share with all your friends, and subscribe or follow if you have not already, boys and girls, because we are grinding, we are growing, and I could not do that without every single one of you. Also, leave us a comment in the section down below. What was your opinion of the final episode of House of the Dragon Season 2 out there? Did you enjoy it, or were you just so offended by watching a couple of girls make out that you just couldn't handle it and had to review bomb it? Let us know what you think about all that down below. So, toxic fandom. How Hollywood is battling fans who are just out for blood, from social media boot camps to super fan focus groups. Oh, yes. Oh, yes, you do indeed have the power, boys and girls, and Variety is letting you know that it's all about you out there. So they talk about a bunch of different stuff in here, but this is where things get kind of interesting. It comes with the territory, but it's gotten really loud in the last couple of years, says a veteran marketing executive at a major studio. Yeah, there's not very many people named in this article, and it's probably pretty obvious why, because yes, the audience does matter, the customers do matter, and the last thing you want to do is make them mad. People are just out for blood regardless. They think the purity of the first version will never be replaced, or you've done something to upset the canon of a beloved franchise, and they're going to take you down for doing so. Well, thanks for all of that power. It's glad to know that when you violate the lore and the canon, that we have so much power that we're going to take you down and ruin your series. Thank you very much for that. No, it's one of those situations where it's just really easy for us to call you out when you completely and totally ignore all the canon and just try to do something your own way. You let your narcissism get in the way. But in the case of House of the Dragon, we actually know what happened and had nothing to do with that. It's a series that's more or less overall pretty much loved by absolutely everybody out there except the critics. Oh, as well, didn't like that last episode. Sometimes toxic fandoms behave reactively. A House of the Dragons episode featuring 2 female characters kissing. Yeah, because guys really hate watching 2 hot chicks make out. I know. The horror. I know. Aren't you just so offended by watching 2 hot chicks make out? And an episode of The Last of Us focusing on a gay couple were both review bombed. Oh, really? The practice of mobbing sites like Rotten Tomatoes and IMDb with negative user reviews, which gained mainstream attention following the premiere of the 2017 Star Wars The Last Jedi. Oh, yes, The Last Jedi wasn't hated because it was an absolutely abysmal movie. No, that made no sense. No. It was just a bunch of toxic fans out there. The Marvels and the Boys woke garbage, among other pungent terms. Oh, yes. An entire YouTube ecosystem devoted to declaring projects like the Marvels and the Boys woke garbage, among other pungent subrequests. Oh, yes. We have so much power. It's only us. It's only us toxic fans out there that hated the last episode of House of the Dragon. Really? Because Rotten Tomatoes won't give you an audience score for individual episodes. They only give you a critic score. And that critic score is 48%. That's you, Variety. That's you and all of your friends out there in the mainstream video that also hated this episode. So explain to me why it's just all the gay fans out there. And I mean, literally, we can go through it because they say the exact same thing that all of the fans did. Underwhelmed, sad what I am after this episode. Impression blend, rotten, The Ringer, 2 episodes, IO9, Polygon, hated it. TV Fantastic, Jeremy Johns, CBR, Top Critic, NPR, National Public Radio, boys and girls, literally the mouthpiece for the spirit of the age. NPR hated this episode. Salon.com hated this episode. And we can jump over because they mentioned it as well. IndieWire hated this episode. Oh, look, there's Variety. Now, they did. They loved the episode. The Independent did not. The New York freaking Times hated the episode. So, yeah, it's just a bunch of toxic fans that did it. User reviews, 5 out of 10. Falling flat. Why make the Rogue Prince so stupid? Average episode. Small focus, far from filler episode. It focuses on slow-paced drama. Some people loved it. The spark has been dulled. House of Dragging. Why the bad reviews? Marvel fans beware. The episode was outstanding. An alternative Dragon Riders. The same as the last episode. A small amount of plot, development, and a lot of low-quality filler. Do you see any headlines here mentioning an issue with having 2 chicks make out in an episode? No, you don't. It's not anywhere to be found in any way, shape, or form. You can't find it. It doesn't exist. And overall, even on IMDb, this thing still has an 8.4 out of 10 overall for the season because guess what? The majority of fans out there liked it. But even this one episode where the critics themselves have to admit they hated it. And if you apply just top critics, it's a 22%. So is it really just a bunch of bigoted fans out there that don't like gay people? Or was it just a crappy episode with bad writing and a horrible way to end your season? Boys and girls, we know what it is, and Variety can whine all day long, and they can blame toxic fandom all they want. But no, the House of the Dragon was just mid to begin with on season 2. It didn't pan out very well, and guess what? The fans told you that. So Variety, come up with all your excuses about gay, that's the problem. You just hate gay people. No, it's crappy writing, and you're bad at it. You don't do a good job, and you fail miserably. That's why Hollywood is dying. That's why these series continue to see lower viewership after lower viewership. It has nothing to do with any of that kind of stuff. It has to do with the fact that you hate the fans, you hate the lore, you hate the source material, and you believe you're smarter and faster than anyone that has ever come before you. You think you can change things, you think you can modify things, and then just try to use the cover of diversity, inclusion, and equity to try to just accuse us of being nothing more than bigots. But at the end of the day, we know better. That's why you're failing, and that's why you will continue to fail. So no, House of the Dragon did not get review bombed, which doesn't actually exist, because if it was just a bunch of people that hate gay people, or there was a bunch of racists out there just review bombing things, then explain to us why all the successful audience scores on every black leading starring movie and television show out there. It's not true, and it never has been. And explain everybody's response to the birdcage if we really just hate gay people. No. We hate bad storytelling. We hate failing audience scores. We hate the fact that you have done this to some of our favorite properties out there, and we will continue to call you out and make our voices heard, because at the end of the day, the fans and the audience have the power. They are the ones that pay the bills, and even Variety has to admit that, because they know it's just a bunch of toxic fans, but Hollywood has to listen to them now because, yeah, we pay the bills. Thanks for reminding us that we have all the power and that you guys are just a bunch of talking heads, a bunch of adult pretenders, and nothing more than our personal entertainment.